Hey everybody, it's Dusti Martin with the Martin Group at Platinum Living Realty, dropping in to give you your monthly market update for the city of Scottsdale. It is September 13th. We're a couple weeks late this year. However, there are some great things happening in our market. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, buckle up, let's go. So let's just get right to it. Our active listings, the number of homes that we actually have available is down almost 21% over this time last year. But our sold listings are up almost 9% over this time last year. And that's leaving our median sale price per square foot up 2%. Now, the last 3 or 4 years, we've seen a lot of home value increases that were, say, 15, 20, 50% year over year gains. And then last year we had a little bit of a 6-month backslide, and people started to see their home values over the course of 6 months go down almost 7% or 6%, depending on where you were in the valley. But here we are, we've come full circle from the hardest part of last year, and now we're up 2% from where we were last year. So that shows me that we've stabilized. Everybody kind of freaked out a little bit for 6 months, and then we started to have our normal appreciation. Now, remember, normal appreciation year over year is supposed to be between 2 and 4%. So 2% is not bad. It's just not crazy like some people might have tricked themselves into thinking was normal. So keep that in mind. It's up, but it's up a normal amount. Normal appreciation is 2 to 4%, not 20. All right, so then our months of supply though, like I said, since we have less listings and we're selling more, that means our months of supply is down over 27% over this time last year, with our months of supply currently sitting at 2.39 months of supply. Now, coming out of the summer, that's usually our slowest portion of the year, sales-wise, meaning the least amount of sales, not necessarily prices. However, historically, prices do dip a smidge in the summer for Arizona, mostly because most of our buyers are gone. So coming into September, having our slowest month of the year, which is usually August, our months of supply is at 2.39 months of supply. If you've been here very long, you know that anything 4 months or less is a seller's market. So it's not an uber white hot seller's market like you would see under 2 months of supply or even under 1 month of supply that we had sustained for a couple years when interest rates were like 3%. But now those prices are stabilizing and people are getting more adjusted to a historical norm in terms of interest rates, which are right about our historical norm. Our historical average for mortgage rates is about 7.7%. That's for as long as we've been actually monitoring and tracking mortgage rates. So keep that in mind. It seems high compared to the last few years, but historically speaking, it's not. And at the end of the day, people still get married, they still get divorced, people are still born, and they still die. So at the end of the day, people still need a roof over their head. And we didn't build enough houses for about a decade to keep up with that population surge. So that's, in my opinion, what's keeping our inventory low is just that we don't have enough houses, period. So you are sitting in a seller's market. It's just not a crazy seller's market. You're going to see gentle upward pressure on home prices, which is where we would have that 2%. So like I said, 2% is normal appreciation, and it is a gentle home value increase. Now, when we get to our median days on market, that is up 10.5%. And by that, I mean, this year, our median days on market is 47 days. Last year, it was 43. So in other words, it's going to take you 4 days longer this year to sell your home. However, your home will likely sell for more than it would have last year. So that's a good thing. And also keep in mind, in a normal, even stable market, we'd be sitting at 90 days, right? 90 days average days on market with 6 months of inventory. And we are nowhere near that. And people keep asking what's going to happen with interest rates, what's going to happen with the housing market. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. We don't know. What's going to happen is that the Fed is going to keep trying to adjust. They have basically already said, oh, we might be raising rates at the end of the year, but we want to slow inflation. Well, okay, it's here now. Stop doing things. The problem is they've been looking at housing and how unaffordable it is and how prices, despite all of this, continue to go up. So in my opinion, and I am not a financial advisor, I'm not a lawyer, take it with a grain of salt and consult your favorite professional. However, when we don't have enough homes to sell because we didn't build enough homes to house the amount of people we have, and it's not like anybody stopped having children or stopped being born or stopped dying or stopped getting married through the whole last Great Recession, we just stopped building houses for them because most of the builders lost their shirt when things collapsed. So until we solve the supply issue with houses, we're not going to solve the affordability issue, in my opinion. So if you're a local elected leader or even a nationally elected leader seeing this for some reason, I want you to know that you need to make it easier for people to build homes. That's the end of it. You need to deregulate things and make it more affordable for builders to build because we don't have enough homes. And I'm not talking like Cracker Jack box apartments. I mean like actual homes that they can have some invested value in and that those families can then create generational wealth and something to call their own. I don't mean lots of apartments everywhere with these little micro communities that only have like a couple, restaurants or whatever underneath them. That's my soapbox speech. I'm going to get off that now. And then we're going to look at our months of supply by price point. If you are in the luxury market, you are going to want to watch to the end because the luxury market in Scottsdale is much, much, much different than any other price point in Scottsdale. So keep that in mind. Now, we're going to look at the $0 to $100,000 real quick. There's no data there. There's only one property available and it didn't sell. My guess is it came on the market at the end of the month and just hasn't posted to the data yet. Or it might be a slightly undesirable property and therefore is not selling even at 100 grand or less, simply because it either can't be financed or nobody wants to pay cash for it. So those are really the only two options. Either just came on at the end of the market, so we don't know what's happening with it yet. And like I said, these stats are like 2 weeks old at this point, but either way, we don't have a number to calculate there. We just know there's only one and it has not sold yet. So then we look at the $100,000 to $200,000 price range. And for the first time in a long time, we're actually seeing inventory. But in that price range, we are at 14 months worth of inventory, which is a buyer's market. 8 months or more is a buyer's market. And when you think about that, knowing what's available in Scottsdale and the average price point, this is well below it. So my guess is these are homes that are harder to finance or impossible to finance and harder to sell. Think co-ops, condos that aren't eligible for FHA funding or that are owned by too many investors to be able to be financed, things like that. Or they're just really rough properties in kind of a state of disrepair that is going to take somebody just willing to come in and have the cash to gut the place. So things like that are usually what pop in and make such a low price point have a high months of supply. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. The numbers are the numbers. All right. So let's jump down to the $200,000 to $300,000 price range. That swings the total opposite end of the pendulum. And that is at 1.78 months of supply, just under 8 weeks worth of inventory. You're right about 7 weeks, right? And in there, that is a really hot seller's market. You should be getting very solid, possibly multiple offers there. And you should be selling for somewhere between 98 and 99% of your list price, if not 100. Now, as we move on, we're looking at the $300,000 to $500,000 price range, and we're even less inventory at 1.36. Same thing, hotter seller's market, getting towards that white hot seller's market. Multiple offers if it's priced and marketed appropriately. If you're in those price ranges and you're not having that happen, it's one or two of those things, if not both. All right, so then we look at the $500,000 to $700,000 price range. It is almost identical to the $200,000 to $300,000 price range at 1.78. So 7 weeks worth of inventory. That's not a lot, and you're going to see some fights on your hands if your house is marketed and priced appropriately. Then we look at the $700,000 to $1 million price range, and that is at 2.3 months of supply. That is a very solid, stable seller's market. Again, we will see gentle upward pressure, but we're probably not going to see people waiving inspections and appraisals and stuff like that. You might get multiple offers, but when I say multiple, I mean like 2, maybe 3, not 80. All right, so then we look at the $1 to $3 million price range, and this is the largest cross section of our inventory now in Scottsdale. That's how much our home values have gone up over the last 4 years. So we're actually sitting at 2.57 months of supply. So about, I want to say 10, maybe 11 weeks worth of inventory, if that. That's not a lot. It sounds like a lot, but remember, in an even stable market, you'd have 6 months worth of inventory, and it would take you at least 90 days to sell your home, at least, if it was priced and marketed appropriately. So knowing that, you're going to probably just get that 1 or 2 solid offers. It's not likely to be for 100% a list price, but it will probably be a very fair offer, and both sides will have to meet in the middle. Then when we look at $3 million and over, we are at a full-blown buyer's market at 10.44 months of supply. Again, we've swung in the other direction. Now, it's not as hot of a buyer's market there as it was for the $100,000 to $200,000 price range, but that's probably because homes $3 million and other are not gut jobs and can be financed. However, with that said, summer is, generally speaking, Scottsdale's slowest time specifically for luxury homes. So even when other price points tend to still be really hot sellers markets, luxury always slows down disproportionately to the rest of the market in Scottsdale in the summer. Part of that is because people who own these homes are not here and they don't want to be out of town to have it sold. Right. The second part is the people who buy those homes aren't here either. They're somewhere cooler. They're on a beach somewhere or a yacht or whatever. And this is not intended to be their primary residence. It's probably their second, third, or fourth residence. And those buyers are just gone. And so in the luxury market, you see wide swings from month to month, year to year in that price range, and it's not uncommon. So what I would expect is as we go through the fall, we will see reduction in inventory through October, November. We'll see a pause in December when everybody wants to enjoy their big fancy homes in beautiful weather for the holidays. And then January 1 is likely when we will, hit the ground running. And that's when we will start to see the majority of luxury properties be listed and sold here in Scottsdale. If you're wondering what your home would sell for in today's market, or if you're looking to buy a home in Scottsdale and wondering what you're up against in the particular neighborhood you're interested in, go ahead and give me a call at 480-717-9405 or visit my website at martinpropertiesaz.com.